views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Live an enlightened and authentic life by standing in your own power. Silver Gaia Radio Journey to Gaia with Dr. Bree Gibbs brings forth new information supporting the ascension process happening on the planet now. Learn the true meaning of the word goddess and why each and every one of us is a divine being. Dr. Bree travels multiple worlds, bringing through the unknown ancient knowledge and messages to help you remember who you truly are and live life with truth, trust, and passion.
For more information about Bree's services and products, visit silver-gaia.com.
Now, here's your host, Dr. Bree Gibbs.
Welcome, everyone. We've all done a lot of sound healing and have gone through different groups. And a gentleman reached out to me, and I listened to his sound healing. It's nothing I've ever heard before. And you all know I'm of the ancient ways, and his music is of the ancient ways. And it's really important for, at least for me, when I listened to his music, there was so much healing that happened just in my chair, in my office, by myself, listening to it. And I'm going, wow, how did he come up with all these tones? They're so amazing. Ted Winslow is an internationally acclaimed for his pioneering for the work through the research and development of sound healing and its positive effect on the human energy. Hi, Ted. How you doing?
Hey, Bree. How you doing today? Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, you are so welcome. So how did you come up with this ancient knowledge for healing? I know. People ask me, how do you know this ancient information? It's in my head.
It's like when the student asks, it will be given to you. I went through, a lot of different transformational phases. I started out in the 80s playing with as a studio musician and was getting my technical engineering degree at the University of Colorado, entertaining in the 80s what the record companies looked like back then. And through my studies, I just infatuated with anything and everything that has to do with music. And I started researching things that started coming up dealing with sound healing. And I'm like, sound healing, which is not something that you hear in a popular standpoint, so to speak. And I'm with one of the bands when we're recording. And I'm like, I'm looking into the sound healing. Here's a way of kind of changing some frequencies and studying instead of doing a regular standard tuning. I'll explain that in a second. Why don't we try some of this? And if you can imagine what the 80s hair bands were like, there was really won't go into the details of what they like to do, but that was not one of them.
Right.
And I explored the boundaries a little bit further going through that because I realized when I was coming off the stage at night, my body was all out of whack and my energies were not there, and there were just shots through my aura, so to speak. And at the time, I didn't know what it was, and I realized after going through with doing certain harmful frequencies with megawatt amplifiers, it started to, of course, break me down. Mm-hmm. And so I kept playing around with it, experimenting with myself. One day I'm in a trade show, and I hear a crystal bowl off in the distance. And I have to find what that sound is because I could hear every harmonic value that was coming out of this one note being rung off of the crystal bowl. And so I loved it, had to record it, went and bought all these crystal bowls and started working with music there. I look at my wife one day, and I'm just getting out of the shower, and I'm like, I've got to go up to Alaska. I got to do a motorcycle ride up to Alaska. And so I live here in Colorado. Yeah. 2 kids and my wife looking at me. Yeah, I bet you have to go on a motorcycle ride for 2 weeks. And so she's the loving woman that she is like, okay, go ahead. And we're so in tune with each other. And I did. I went on this 5,000-mile journey, saw these amazing sights, and went 5,000 miles in basically 12 days and came back and like, well, I know what I'm going to do. And I started pulling apart these frequencies and mathematically and looking at the numbers, and which kind of is how solfeggio was really what that was about from my studies in the ancient music days. There's a bunch of eras in music with Renaissance, classical, Gregorian.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yeah. And
wow.
And so I'm playing with the main solfeggio frequency, which is, and solfege is an Italian word, of 528. And so that was the first song that I started writing. It was off of my Love and Gratitude album at 528. I have so many songs, I can't remember the title of it. And there's so many recordings I do. I apologize. And so that's basically where I started from. And then I wanted to take everything a little bit further. And so I developed SOUNDSYNCTECH technology and started incorporating Theta waves as well as alpha brain waves that are into it. Yeah. And that started the journey for me with my next generation of sound healing frequency music. I don't know if we can really coin a term for it yet.
You know, isn't it great to be a pioneer of this?
Yeah, it is.
I love being a pioneer. You know, it takes a lot of courage, first of all. And when we're pioneers to a new energy, actually it's an ancient energy that's come back, that's always been here. We just forgot about it. And you're bringing this all back. I'm so happy.
Oh, you know, as we're talking to vibration, the whole thing with music is vibration, is that when you're heading off into that vibration and you're right in the right groove with the right vibration frequency, you could start pulling in all sorts of things. I'll get woken up an hour before I typically wake up, and I'll just start getting downloads of messages. And then as soon as I open my eyes, it's like it's all crystal clear right there. I walk into the studio and just start doing it.
Well, I'm amazed behind you right now. I'm looking at your studio, and I'm going, wow, I love it. It reminds me of the 80s.
Good frequency, good days.
I'm telling you. Yeah, and you're talking about a motorcycle ride. My husband's sitting in here with me right now going, I need to do that probably. I'm not reading him right now.
Spiritual journey. The biggest thing that I pulled from that is I was telling my wife, I didn't do the Bluetooth headset and all of that, and I didn't really have a radio to listen to. But you're so conscious when you're sitting there on a motorcycle with two wheels, really rubber, that you're flying along the pavement on, and watching your surroundings and, you know, watching for other stuff. Luckily, a lot of the roads I went on, there was no civilization that's out there. When you get on the Alcan Highway, you're kind of on your own. And the consciousness was just so conscious of all your surroundings. So it's.
Wow. So, we have a few minutes before we have to take a break here in a little bit. We have 5 more minutes, but I just want to check on some things here. I know my video is kind of stuck and you can't see me, but I can see you just fine. I want you to know that. The one thing I want people to know is Ted is giving an amazing gift away. Anybody that calls into the studio, here's the phone number, 800-930-2819. Again, 1-800-930-2819. Ted, explain that gift you are giving.
What I want to give away, since I've been so blessed with being able to do this and choose this as a career and make some of the greatest music that I think in the world, I came out with an album that was still is an Amazon bestseller called Angelic Sound Healing. I can't give the versions away that are on iTunes or on Amazon. However, I can give them away on my website. If you go to tedwinslow.com, you'll go into the store, you'll look for Angelic Sound Healing album. You'll check it out, and in the checkout, there's going to be a coupon code, which you can put in underneath of it. Type in radio, R-A-D-I-O, and it's going to zero out your balance. It's important you zero out your balance because we don't want you to pay for it. It's a gift. If you didn't get that far, go back, look for the coupon code, put that in. You'll fill out a small little questionnaire just to make sure it's not one of those robots, and then you can download the album from there. I do have to say, our website gets hammered with a lot of requests with buying albums and stuff, that do one song at a time or two songs at a time. If you go down and select all the songs, sometimes it might lock up. You don't get all of them. If that occurs, just repeat the process.
Oh, okay, good. I know that I downloaded your music, and then my business partner, she bought some of it, and it's been playing in my office every day. I want you to know that. What amazing healing. And I've had this thing where it's like emotional eating, let's just say, right? Because that's what it is, right? And it actually changed some things in me. It was like, oh no, I just want my water. I don't need to get nothing to eat. And that was the first thing that's ever hit me that hard. You know, where it changed something in me that fast and quick by listening to it. And it was actually your fairy music.
Oh, the frequency of the fairies in her.
Yeah. And I'm a big fairy person, and, you know, of the earth, and, you know, and of God, the goddess light, and the ancient knowledge of music. And it was like, wow, it hit me so hard. I cannot believe this. It was great.
Thank you for that beautiful compliment. Thank you.
Oh, you're
so
welcome.
much.
You're welcome. So again, you guys, if you don't want to call in, at least go on his website and get that done. Okay, so one more. I want to go to a couple questions that we have for you, okay?
Okay.
So the one I want to know is, what really made you start sound healing?
Just pretty much what you just described right there. When I realized that the music that I was playing at the time was 440, which is such a dissonant frequency, and I'm constantly doing studies with that, and it's like, I term it like fight or flight music. And all of our daily basis that we have with all of our media is putting the same 440 out. It's a very dissonant frequency, and I can go into some of the histories of that later on. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking around at these bands, and it's funny because they're breaking up, or they're getting in arguments, or I'm looking at the guys in the bands that I was with, and they're overindulging in, you know, maybe drinking a little too much or whatever other self-medicating aspect, couldn't sleep. And when I started hitting on some of these frequencies, and it was instantly changing how I was and bringing my body back to the natural state and frame of mind, that now all of a sudden I could relax. I could start focusing. I was affecting my subconscious. My energy levels were higher. And so that's what led me onto it, because it was basically a selfish path that I wanted, was something different. Instead of feeling so aggressive or anxiety that people were trying to impose, you know, it's like you deal at work all day long, and the boss is telling you, did you do this? You didn't do this. You need to do this. You got to go that. We don't get the attaboys that as human we kind of would like to have that. Go home in the evening, and you're dealing with the family trauma and drama that's there, that this happened to somebody, or somebody else is calling you up going, oh, you're not going to believe this now. And it's just like, wow, we're all oscillatory beings, and what a negative energy that's being thrown out at us.
Okay. We need to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more with Ted Winslow and Silver Gaia Radio.
Tune in to the hit show Mouthing Off with Chef Rossi. Chef Rossi mouths off about different subjects in pursuit of breaking down walls and opening up your minds. She and Dr. Pat banter back and forth, taking from the headlines of the day on subjects that reach beyond what goes on in the world into your hearts. And go to theragingskillet.com to find out more and let Chef Rossi know what's on your mind.
If you're dealing with fear and anxiety, you've probably noticed that the more you fight these emotions, the stronger they seem to get. Dr. Friedemann Schaub, the author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, explains that instead of suppressing, we need to identify and resolve the deeper, subconscious root causes of fear and anxiety. His personal breakthrough program has helped thousands worldwide to overcome their emotional challenges. To learn more, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com and schedule your free consultation with Dr. Schaub now.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Miss any shows during the week? Don't worry, we've got you covered. With the free Transformation Talk radio app, you'll have access to all of the past week's shows in the palm of your hand. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio anywhere you go with our free app for any of your devices. Check out our app in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
TheAngelLady.net. 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 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790. Sue Storm. TheAngelLady.net.
Welcome back, everyone. So, Ted, can you tell us about this giveaway you're giving away again for everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm giving away my Amazon best-selling album, which is Angelic Sound Healing. And what you do is if you go onto my website at tedwinslow.com, you'll go to the store, and then you'll select Angelic Sound Healing. You'll go to checkout or proceed to checkout with it. And there's going to be a coupon code that you're going to put in. You'll type in the coupon code RADIO, R-A-D-I-O, so that it zeroes out your balance, and then you'll go ahead and finish out checking out from there. I do suggest that you do about 2 songs at a time instead of the whole album at once, because we've been getting a lot of traffic on there, and sometimes it will stop or not give one of the feedbacks down, and that way you can get the full one. If you don't get the full one, go ahead and just repeat the same process, and you'll get the whole album back there. But it's got all the angelic frequencies, St. Michael, St. Jophiel, Ariel of 111 hertz, 212 hertz, 555 hertz, and up.
Okay, great. So let's start with some of these questions that I have. So we found out kind of what led you down the sound healing and stuff, and we talked about that Italian word again. How do you say it again?
Solfeggio.
There you go. So when you went on your journey on your motorcycle, this is really interesting to me. So you went on the journey, and it's like, wait a minute, there had to have been something that was really, sometimes we call it a God smack, right? Something just smacks you upside your head, and you go, okay, I know what I'm trying to say. Or I know what I'm getting. I'm being downloaded. How did you know that you were being downloaded with this information?
Well, I was traveling so fast at the time, I was just focused until I got up into actually Alaska. And then I got up into Haines, Alaska, and I had contacted my wife, and she's like, I have this feeling that you have to go to Juneau. Well, there's no roads that are into Juneau. So you have to travel on the Maritime Highway. And I rode my motorcycle onto a ship, tied it down in the bottom of the hull of the ship, and took a ride over to Juneau, Alaska. And it was just spit and rain. So the first night I had to, and I was going to leave the next day. And she told me that while I was there, I had to go see this place called the Shrine of St. Teresa. And Juneau's kind of a small place, really, so to speak. You can either get in by boat or you can fly in. And so I couldn't go there because it was raining so hard, and I was so tired I didn't want to ride in the rain anymore. I stayed in the hotel room, got the last room probably in all of Juneau. They had something going on. I got the last room, got up the next morning. It was all foggy, not raining so much, and I go to the Shrine of St. Teresa, and I walk the labyrinth, and then the flowers that they had there start popping out. And then you walk across a small peninsula to a separate island, which is actually a small cathedral that's designated to St. Teresa. And the surroundings are just mind-blowing. Never seen anything like it. And that's where everything came in, that I had to change all of my work, everything I did. I was still dabbling a little bit in the corporate, a corporate business of my own that I dealt with. And I realized it was time to put that away, close the doors on that, and follow the journey of music where this has taken me. Every day is a different day for me. But that was basically the aha moment that I had with it.
And the minute I get out of bed, I'm going, okay, I need to do this, 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 and this. And it's like always 3 or 4 of them I have to do. And some people think those downloads are so easy, and they're not, but we do it. Do you ever feel that way?
Yes, it's the one thing that I do like about my music is that the frequencies really change your body chemistry, because it takes you into a combined theta and alpha brainwave state, which entrains your body into peace and relaxation. And now every day that I work in the studio, I mean, sometimes my wife is dealing with the chaos of the family and our kids. And from when she comes home, she's not working here. And I'm coming back just like, hey, how's it going? She's just like, okay, you're cooking. and so I get into those states because I used to not really even be able to sleep at night. So because I always had the chatter that was going off in my brain. And now it's like I'm ready to go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock. And it seems like between 6 and 7 that I start getting it. It's like, that's the only way they'll get to me. And then I'll wake up and I remember all of this. It's like they put a schedule for me for the day. So.
Well, no, and that's really true what you're saying. I want to elaborate on that. A lot of us that are getting these ancient downloads, not new ones because they're ancient, and we're being downloaded. A friend of mine, Judy Callie, that's on the show, that comes on every couple, she said that she had to spend a year in bed. She was being downloaded constantly. And she'd wake up, have a can of tuna fish, and go back to sleep, right? And with me, sometimes by 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I get up to take care of my dogs or whatever I have to do. And by 3 or 4 o'clock, I want to go to bed. I don't want to make dinner.
Yes.
I want to go sleeping. And so you understand that. That's great. Because a lot of people are going, how do you survive? I just do it.
It's the most magical feeling in the world, that when you're able to get that and you know that you can come back and start changing the world or help another person that is in a state of despair or out of oscillation, as I call it, then you can bring them back to oneness, bring them back into the I am presence. I have a funny story about Angelic Sound Healing, the album, that part of my engineering process is that I have to get these tunes. So once I record the tunes, I write the tunes, I record the tunes, mix it down, then I have to put it into a format that's going to be able to go out so that people are streaming them on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon or the digital download. And each one does something different to the frequency. So I have to do a process that's called mastering it. And I'm finishing with the mix and the mastering it. And I want it to go pretty much textbook with how I'm dealing with the sound levels and frequencies, and my computer system crashes. And I'm like, what is going on with this? So I fire it back up and I get it back. Oh, good. It automatically saved. And I go through and it crashes again. And I feel this like 18, 20-foot being behind me, and the track was Joe Field. And it's like, leave it the way that it is. Don't mess with it. I'm thinking, oh, okay, who am I to argue? And so I left it the way that it was, even though technically it wasn't correct. And that's how it was. I probably would have messed it up. But there was a huge download. Somebody smacking me upside the head on that one.
Well, and that's really true, because like when I'm doing my sound links, right, and I have it typed up a certain way, it's like, do not change one word. This is how it's supposed to be. It may not make sense to others, but at the end, it will make sense. So we have to take a quick break, and we're back. I can't talk right now. We will be back with more with Ted Winslow and Silver Gaia Radio.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine. Have you ever said to yourself, what is this mess I'm in? Believe it or not, part of us wants it. We have asked for deeper work, to understand love, to step into our power, to choose differently. Then when we start engineering the circumstances, we want to control how it unfolds. Let's be honest. It's like asking the universe to help you create something, then saying, well, not like that. I want you to do it this way. If you are ready to shift into your best life, visit lesliefontaine.com and let's talk about unfolding all that you want to be, do, and have. You'll find sessions, classes, and audio products to help remove the blocks and move you into your potential. And listen to my show, Sheer Alchemy, on Transformation Talk Radio, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Gifted intuitive healer and spiritual teacher Sarah Luce brings her unique style to the hit show Small Steps, Big Breakthrough Radio on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Tune in each month as Sarah turns reality on end and shows us how to experience expansive results with simple yet powerful steps. Expect an enlightening bend on what you currently believe is possible. For show details and upcoming topics, visit saraloos.com. That's SARALOOS.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com. At a crossroads in your life, in need of answers, trying to discover your life dream or how to manifest it, Dr. Catherine Lehman with a team of angels, guides, master teachers has been helping people unveil the truth to the path of abundance and freedom for over 40 years. Training with shamans, teachers, and healers globally, Dr. Lehman will guide you to action and discovering your soul's path. Schedule a session today, 915-313-8541. It's 915-313-8541.
Welcome back, everyone. So again, we're taking phone calls. If you want to speak with Ted to find out more information on what he can do to help you with his vibrational ancient music, is what I want to call it. It's all about the ancient times right now. And it's been, one thing I want to set straight, the ancient has been here. We just forgot. It's like, when I've explained it before, it's like, maybe we dug like a foot down in dirt and covered it. Well, now it's all uncovered. And I was born with my ancient memories. And what I'm kind of getting off of Ted, you were born with yours. It's just something had to go an aha moment to reactivate it. It's not so much like reactivating the pineal gland. It's just something inside of you have to reactivate to remember it. How do you feel about that?
I totally agree with that, because I look back, historically speaking, on some of my probably personal favorite aspects of where musically a lot of creation came out. One part, the godfather of all sound healing, was probably Pythagoras, about 5th century before Christ. And what happens, he's walking along in whatever town. You think this guy, he's walked through Mesopotamia, Assyria, Egypt, and the different places he's able to go visit through there with all the knowledge. And I know that a lot of the information he had was burned down in, I think, Athens library there in Greece. But he's walking through the town and he hears this clanking sound that's going off. And he goes and seeks it out because he's hearing, his ears are perceiving something. And he comes across a blacksmith hitting on an anvil with a, probably, I don't know, he's hammering on an anvil, and it's creating all these different pitches. And so you can imagine what he's hearing all of a sudden now, these certain frequencies that are coming through. And so he runs home and he builds this little instrument. I don't know how he would have thought of a string, but he probably builds what's his time a guitar, but it was a monochord, which was one string gone across on this wood thing. And he starts figuring out where the intervals and the pitches are on this string as they resonate out. And there is such a thing as a Pythagoras tuning. You can go through and kind of do that. And it's harmonically related. He figured all the harmonic ratios. And he was not only great with that aspect, but as an astronomer, mathematician for his time. Then you move forward thinking with Bach, Beethoven, Handel, and Bach start dealing with different tunings with their instruments, pianos, harpsichords. And then they teach it to Beethoven, and Mozart starts picking up on it and starts going through which was the classical, the Baroque period to the classical era of music into the Romantic. And then now we've got modern day where all of a sudden we start to get the Western world, and I think Europe. There's some speculation with that, but somebody said Joseph Goebbels is at this thing, who was the Third Reich minister, and says we've got to do all standard tunings, and 440, it's of the utmost importance. And so here I'm thinking the greatest ears of the world from Italy, from Vienna, from England come in and start to do 440 tuning, and now that's what we know. Which now 440, when I say 440, you sit down with an orchestra or a band, and you all calibrate to 440 hertz, which is 400 vibrates 440 times per second. And so that's what we have. And that's where I talked about a little bit earlier. It's the most dissonant frequency that we have. But you can remember that Handel was dealing with 444 to 432, which is a universal frequency. And so, and then there's modalities that come out of that as well.
We have a caller from Seattle that her name is Jill. Let's bring her up on the line, Benny.
Jill, are you there?
I'm here. Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you?
We're doing just fine. Would you like to ask Ted a question?
Jill. Yeah, I have a question. I have music by Dr. Jeffrey Thompson, and I'm wondering how your music compares to his.
Honestly, I don't know of Dr. Jeffrey Thompson, so I couldn't tell you on that aspect. Is he a sound healer and New Age musician?
Yeah, he uses binaural beats, I know, and he uses mostly like Theta and Delta type systems.
Okay. The reason why I started going a little bit further with where I'm at, I'm sorry I don't know who he is or what he's what his compositions are, is that I know a lot of people are going out there and they're loosely using the word theta and alpha when they're putting them into their music. When I'm able to put it into my music, it's an actual frequency using through the binaural beats, but there's also a process that it has to be harmonically related to the frequency of which I'm recording in. So that's the other main aspect that I do, that all of my tunings are in like 528, 432, the angelic frequencies of 222, 333 hertz. That theta is going to have a harmonic value that you actually have to tune that binaurally to get that inside of there, as well as the alpha. I'm the first one that I don't know anybody that's doing it unless they realize I'm doing it, that they start to put both the theta and the alpha in there as well. So he's just one I couldn't tell you. The other aspects, there's some of them that we're talking about that, and I'm able to do it with technology. I know a lot of people slam the new digital era of technology that we have as opposed to the analog. And some of these guys coming across saying that they were doing it from their analog recording process, I honestly don't see how they mathematically could have done that. So, and I don't know what era or generation is. I do know with mine that it's whole in there and it sits in the pocket. It's mathematically harmonically related, and that's, unfortunately, I don't know where he's from on that.
Oh, okay. Well, you answered my question. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
All right. So, Ted, I have a question for you. Why should we incorporate sound healing in our daily lives?
Because we want to undo all of the stress and the anxiety that we're receiving from, we could say, media. As soon as we turn on our TV, we've got negative ads, or we've got ads that are saying buy, 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 and they're separating us from whatever money that we're getting that we got to go buy the next gadget gizmo. And it's sound healing is a way to bring us and connect us back into nature. Not all of us have the opportunity that can go up into the mountains. And I'm going to use my own personal experiences that I like to go into the mountains. Typically about once a year, I'll go up and I'll take my kids or some friends and just go backpacking and just sleep underneath of a tarp and pump my water out there, because I get really connected back into with our earth frequencies of the state of being that we were, instead of being underneath of all the man-made lights that we have here. I mean, I bet there's a lot of people that you should go out at least, I'm not getting too off the subject, but at least 15 minutes a day so we get some vitamin D from the sun. And some people are so overworked with 2-3 jobs, their body is just left in pieces everywhere that they go. We're oscillatory beings. We can pick up on all of the bad energy of this fight or flight frequencies that they want to put us in, so that we just follow along like kind of drones and not have an opinion sometimes of our own, or we don't have to attack people we're supposed to have different opinions, so to speak.
Right. I know with being downloaded, like you and I are, is there a way that we can rejuvenate ourselves? Like, I know I work in computers all day, right?
Yep.
And the minute I'm done with this, it's like, I just want to go to bed. an hour show, and Bree wants to go to bed. That makes a lot of sense, right? But you
Right.
understand that. Is there something musically I can listen to that would help me?
Yeah, well, and of course I'm gonna say my music, and I don't mean to sound like a plug with my music. But,
No, go for it. I've been plugging you for 2 weeks. Got the date even wrong.
And it's coming from you. That's a huge compliment. So thank you so much. I'm just love and gratitude for it. But that's the whole aspect of the music and why I wanted to give away that free copy so that people can go download that. There's also studies that I've done on my website, and I can go into how I got involved with that are scientific studies that show how it changes our body chemistry. The reason why I talk about my music on that is because that's what I know what to do. That's what I do best. That's my mission and my guidance of life, that I'm able to do that. Now, we can deal with it can be a mother-in-law repellent for some people. They might have an in-law that they're like, oh my God, really, honey? They're going to come and stay with us for how long? Man, throw angelic sound healing on there. Throw frequency of the fairies on there, planetary, and you'll see the change that's going to be able to happen with family members. So that's a quick way. I
don't mean to laugh, but I have an 18-year-old stepson that is so close to graduating. I'm going to shove one of these CDs in his room.
You'll watch him. He will either want to get as far away from it as possible, or he'll be like, wow, that's great. But it clears out the space that you have. Our nature is to love each other and be of higher vibrations. As the information we get downloaded, we all have the capability of getting the downloads. There's other aspects that do not want us to get these downloads, because then we would all be able to create anything and everything that we were at.
Right.
So it's just a blessing being able to do this. I have a firefight. How are we on time?
We got 1 minute till we have to take a break.
Okay. There's a firefighter that was at ground zero and during the 9/11. And he was out there for 15 weeks. So you can imagine the things that he saw. So he was traumatically affected. He couldn't sleep at night. He now doesn't have to, and he was on medication and stuff to help him to get through this. And he now listens to my music and is able to function back normally with his family. It takes time, but I do my songs mostly around 6 minutes for a reason. So.
All right, that's great. So we're back in just a few minutes with more Silver Gaia Radio and Ted Winslow.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down. Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Do you feel that there's a bigger, better life for you? Is there anything holding you back from living the life you were meant to live? If you'd like to find your life's true purpose and calling, join the world's foremost authority on primal spirituality, David Carshare, in Becoming a Sun Radio, emotional and spiritual intelligence for a happy, fulfilling life. Tune in once a month to Becoming a Sun Radio with David Carshare on The Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit davidcarshare.com today.
Get ready to experience Truth Talk Radio with host Deb Acker. Tune in to Truth Talk Radio each Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com to illuminate the truth in your daily life as you experience life, love, and abundance from a whole new perspective. This hit show will leave you feeling lighter and bring you into a place of infinite possibilities every day in every way. Visit TruthTalkRadioshow.com for upcoming transformative topics and guests.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Miss any shows during the week? Don't worry, we've got you covered. With the free Transformation Talk radio app, you'll have access to all of the past week's shows in the palm of your hand. Tune in to Transformation Talk Radio anywhere you go with our free app for any of your devices. Check out our app in the App Store and Google Play Store today.
Wow, that's some beautiful music. I love it. So we're talking about 18-year-olds and mother-in-laws, and this is one of these shows I just sit back and laugh and go, oh, can anything else happen today? So if we were all listening to this music right now, let's just say I have my family in my office right now with me, right? And we're listening to this, we'd be able to recalibrate our thought patterns? Okay, that's a question I had for you.
Well, let me go in kind of like a little bit of another direction here. So as I was creating this music and I'm listening to it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly the intention that I want on the music. And as a musician, it can be hard sometimes because we can sometimes be our toughest critic, or our spouse can be our toughest critic. But I could feel the effects that was happening, and I knew that something was there. So kind of back to getting a download, or when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I'm here in Colorado, and I get this call one day, and it's Gaia. Their headquarters or their station is up in Boulder, about not too far, about an hour's drive from where I'm at here. Mm-hmm. And there's a scientist who teaches at the university in St. Petersburg, Russia, who's made groundbreaking discoveries with how to be able to capture our energy field. And he'd heard of some of the stuff that I've been doing, and I'm kind of a technical nerd, so to speak. I love a lot of aspects of technology that can kind of take me into the areas such as this. And he contacts me, so they got me passes, and I brought my wife up there and got to meet him. And long story short, he has these camera systems that are biophotonic imaging camera systems, and it's built off of Western medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, and also some of the Middle Eastern hand therapy, chakra kind of theories with it. Mm-hmm. And we talk and kind of got to getting on a personal level and become pretty good friends. And he wants me to meet with his head engineer from St. Petersburg. So they fly him out to this other location. And then I was subcontracted by another company to go meet out there. And we started just calibrating these systems and playing with them and developing them. So now I'm able to scientifically show how my music can affect our human energy field. So we know that we hear it, and we know that we're going to sleep at night, but what scientifically is it really doing to us? And I've got studies on my website, again, on tedwinslow.com, that you could see where I've done measurements with clients or subjects that I would test them before they've ever listened to my sound healing, have them listen to the sound healing, and then test them after. And I've done, I did a 77-year-old woman who came straight back from Vegas, which you can imagine.
I'm going to say she needs the healing now.
Oh, have I got the medicine for you? So I tested her right when she came off of the plane, and you could see her chakras were real tiny. Her energy was just all inside of her. And I had her listen to Angelic. and her chakras started to get more in alignment and coming back together. It creates a better sense of energy where it's not like you're drinking a cup of caffeine and just like, okay, here I am. It's more of like, okay, I'm wholly here. I'm ready, conscious of what's going on around me and able to take on anything, but I'm still in a conscious state, in a relaxed manner.
Right.
So,
I know, like, there's a lot of people that can't do caffeine. I can't. I'd be all over the board. And I'm all over the board anyway. I'm looking at you going, oh, he's too much like me. Wait. I'm telling you, wait till he comes into Washington. Ted, give out some information how our guests can get a hold of you. I want to do that real quick before I go on with this next question.
Okay. I'm on Facebook. I've got a Solfeggio Sound Healing page. And then you can find me on Twitter. So my Twitter handle is @TedWinslow. And then also you can reach me on my website, which is the best place to get a hold of me, which is tedwinslow.com. I do, real quick, the album that those, if you do download them, I just ask that it helps if you do have an Amazon or iTunes account, if you can put a review of the album and the music up there, because that actually helps other people so that we're connecting to it with this healing that we're trying to bring ourselves all back into a oneness.
Right. And that's important right now that we are coming back in oneness.
Yeah.
It's, getting the ego out of the way. And, and I tell people, love your ego, first of all, embrace it, and love that ego inside of us because it serves a purpose. But sometimes we have to move it out of the way to bring in the information we need. And then the ego accepts it. So, that's kind of my opinion on that. All right. So, the one question, your music, that's been scientifically proven and the studies that have been done on it, we've gone over this, but it's like, wow, you never see that anymore.
No.
And this is like, so I'm thinking of Bach, Beethoven, all that was done way back then and before. But with you, it's being scientifically proven. That's amazing.
Yeah, with frequency, they're doing so much with frequency in the medical world as well, that with all the aspects that you can get for healing with that. And music is so hard because as I would tell people about 440, the difference of that, and I've got a study that's on there with somebody listening to popular music at 440 hertz, which it's agitating. You listen to it. I guess if you're a power lifter or you want a great exercise to just kind of be like at the gym, man, it'll work. It'll work. I used to play semi-pro football, so I listened to some of that, like, yeah, go get them. But how do you come out of that? That's the point. You can't be on that state 24/7. I know that when we get out of bed, we want to try to get to that state just to get power through the day, but listen to it before you go to bed, listen to it in the evening. And that's what the scientific studies were for, is that they can show that.
Wow.
I had one, I know that we're running short on time here.
Mm-hmm.
I had one study where she came, I wanted her to vocal tone and was working with her voice, and she didn't like singing. And so as she was sitting there singing, she started singing all this hate stuff. I hate my job. I hate my life. And I'm like, oh, I've blown this study. This is not good. And just because she was, the ego cannot resist the music. And it was, it was a release, and you could see where her energy field started coming up.
Wow. So it released a whole bunch of stuff she no longer served her. Wow. That's amazing. Well, we only have a few minutes left, so it's been an honor having you on here. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for everything that you do for connecting all of us and all of your wisdom that you're bringing out there. So
thank you. And that's what this whole show is about, bringing ascended masters and master teachers all together on the show so they can share and help others. It's not just me. It's people like you and other people that are coming on the show to help, donating their time. Just, every few weeks, maybe once a month or every couple of months, just coming on and helping. And it's been amazing how it's affecting everybody. This show has been. And so I really want to thank you. And I'm interested in talking with your wife about those essential oils.
She can't wait to talk to you. There's another vibrational thing that's great and beneficial to us.
Yeah, because I use them. Really important. So again, your information one more time, please, because we only have about a minute left.
Go to tedwinslow.com or Twitter at Ted Winslow, and then Solfeggio Sound Healing on Facebook, or Ted Winslow on Facebook.
And for anybody else, you guys can go to silver-gaia.com, and there'll be some information up on there. And if you hit Silver Gaia Facebook, you'll find information up there about Ted. I'm just amazed with his music. I've done a lot of sound healing, and that has on me, and this is the first time it's been real effective with me. If anybody really knows me, they're like, I'm very fluttering everywhere. And where this finally calmed me down in my office, in my car, where I finally can say, I can relax. Thank you again for being with me today, Ted. I appreciate everything you do, and namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you again on Thursday on Silver Gaia Radio. Have a great week.
You've been listening to Silver Gaia Radio, Journey to Gaia. Join Dr. Bree Gibbs the second and fourth Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific and Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. Each show is designed to share and discuss timely key messages and truths. Dr. Bree brings forth gods and goddesses, ascended masters, and others to communicate the information our world needs. For more about Dr. Bree or Silver Gaia Radio, visit silver-gaia.com, and we'll see you next time.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.